evening, everyone. The chairs that you see here, I'm told that there's a $100 bill under one of those chairs, but you can't lift it till after the program. So you need to make sure those seats are filled, if you would, please. If you're capable, please sit along the chairs. And if you're seated beyond those two pillars, there's a $100 fine per person. So now you have to come up front, please. Anybody beyond those two pillars, $100 fine per person. So please get up, come join us. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to American Legion Post 41. My name is Louis Olivas. I've been a member of this fine post for 31 years. I'm not the oldest. There's some in this audience have been members for 60 or 70 years. This post was built in 1945 by returning Mexicano veterans. Notice I used the word Mexicano. In 1945, Hispanics and Latinos didn't exist in America. And so these returning Mexicano veterans decided we need to build our own post. And so the facility you see was built by the members. Remember, we veterans, like you veterans, are either electricians, painters, you name it, we do everything. And so thanks to that hard labor, this hall was built. On the other side, there's a rendezvous bar area. There's a gentleman that gave us a personal check back in 1945 for $50,000 of his own money to build and buy the materials. He was a councilman of the city of Phoenix, and his name, Barry Goldwater. So welcome to Post 41. The hall that you see here is available for rent, for birthdays, celebrations, divorces, weddings, you name it. I recall my sister having her wedding here in 1961 in this facility. And so on Sunday morning, the auxiliary does menudo, burritos, you name it. It's open to the public. So welcome to Post 41. Over a decade ago, I was at a restaurant no longer exists on Van Buren by the name of Oaxaca. And I remember sitting there and listening to the so-called leaders of our community talk about a young man by the name of Ruben Gallego. I said, Ruben who? Yeah, this Chicanito out of Chicago. He's here and he wants to start doing things. He wants to run for office. He wants to do this. So we told him, you got to stand in line, Ruben. Can't do that. You just got here. People don't know who you are. Well, knowing Ruben, the Marine that is, charged straight ahead without their permission and started to make things happen. Being elected to the Arizona House of Representatives, getting involved in this community. And let me say, I heard these conversations and then someone said, he was a Marine. And I'm thinking, I said, hold on folks, I'm told by Marines, once a Marine, always a Marine. And so Ruben is a member of Post 41, and he's a great supporter about who we are, what we do for veterans. And so welcome to the Post. Need to say one last story. I was in the running room last night, Friday night, we do karaoke. I run it. My motto is, the more you drink, the better we sound. But listen to this story, Congressman. Sitting, I won't say his name, he's sitting there. I said, hey, we're going to have a gathering tomorrow for Congressman Gallego, Post 41 member. You going to be here? He said, I'm going to do my best. And I see him here. And the story gets better. He said, last week, they were in the Avondale area, west side of Phoenix, and they were knocking on doors and on, and they knocked on my door, rang my doorbell. I opened up the door, this young kid giving me a flyer saying, will you vote for Ruben Gallego? And this member said, I don't know who he is. Why would I want to vote for him? No, thank you. Closes the door. 1 hour later, somebody's ringing the doorbell, knocking on the door. he tells me he opens the door. There stands Ruben Gallego. And now he's telling him, I'm Ruben Gallego. I am so pleased to meet you. And this is what I stand for. I welcome your vote. And he said, not only do you have my vote, my family, 4 members in this house are going to vote for you. I'm going to make sure my neighbors, my comadre, compadre live down the street, they're all going to vote for you. So, Ruben, that's a story that was shared last night. So welcome to Forbes 41. If everyone could stand and remove the cover, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remove hats and covers. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a seat, please. We have several speakers. It's not going to be a long program. And at 2 o'clock, they're going to, or right after the program, the windows are going to open up. Thanks to the efforts of the Gallego team, there's a free lunch, okay? No, not menudo. Menudo tomorrow. Let me ask Past Commander Manny Lugo, step forward. Manny, Marine veteran also, served the Vietnam era in Vietnam. So Manny, welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Manny Lugo. I'm a proud Marine veteran, and I've seen firsthand the bravery and dedication of service members who face atrocity. I've also had challenges that can be just for the veterans who come home. I've experienced it myself. After all the sacrifices men and women in uniform make, they deserve all the support when they get home. Ruben Gallego understands that. He's experienced many of the struggles that we have, whether losing brothers and sisters on the battlefield or trying to navigate civilian life after combat. He took his own experience and the experiences of veterans, brothers and sisters, and turned them into frustration to action. After losing friends of suicide, dealing with their own trauma of war, Ruben has continued to fight for mental health and suicide prevention from the VA. He's been open to share his post-traumatic stress, removing judgment and stigma for anyone. After seeing failure at the VA firsthand, Ruben continued to use a seat in Congress to hold veterans, VA veterans and the failure of shortcomings, also working with veterans and their benefits. Ruben record speaks for itself. He's fought hard for Arizona veterans because he is one of us. And I trust he will carry that in the Senate in Arizona. We respect those who serve, who sacrifice all for their country, a great country. His opponent doesn't get that. She disrespected his service. She disrespected Senator McCain's service. And when you disrespect one of us, you disrespect all of us. So I ask all of you to join in supporting Ruben Gallego, a Marine, a man, one of us. Thank you, and may God bless the veterans of our nation. And now,
she happens to be a Marine, in case you didn't notice. Another Marine.
Another Marine. I was talking to. I don't salute without a cover though. You know this is. Yes. gentlemen earlier, and they were like, "You're a Marine? You were a Marine drill instructor?" And I was like, "Yes, not as lean, not as mean, but still a Marine." So, good afternoon, everyone. I am absolutely honored to be here. I am, as you know, a retired Marine, and I have served for deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've had the privilege of serving our great nation, and today it is an incredible honor to stand here with all of you alongside my Marine brother, Ruben Gallego. As we launch this Veterans for Gallego Coalition, super exciting, and we see a lot of folks who have turned out to be with us today. Thank you. So, Manny said earlier that Ruben is one of us, and he absolutely is. He has faced the brutal realities of combat. He's carried the weight of service both in his heart and in the scars that he bears. And you may not be able to see them, but those scars are there. And he understands more than anyone else what it truly means to sacrifice for our country, for each other. So when it comes to veteran issues, Ruben Gallego just doesn't talk the talk. He walks it. He takes action. As you heard earlier about, his efforts to make sure that all veterans were represented and had a place to go equally. So, he worked really hard to pass the historic PAC Act, which we know secured health care for a lot of veterans exposed to burn pits. He's fought for us, he's fought for our families, and I know as a U.S. Senator, he will fight for our future. This election is about ensuring that Arizona has a U.S. Senator who will fight for all of us, regardless of political affiliation. Ruben's opponent has shown time and time again that she's out of touch and she has absolutely no understanding of what our community needs. Her proposed cuts would harm veterans, seniors, and hardworking families like ours across the state of Arizona. And we can't afford to let that happen. So, here's what I know about Ruben. Here's the truth. Ruben Gallego, he's a fighter, and he understands the needs of Arizona. This person, Ruben Gallego, is the person that we need in Congress to fight for us, and I proudly stand alongside him in ensuring our voices and the voices of all veterans across Arizona are heard loud and clear this election cycle. Rob? So thank you so much for the opportunity and the honor and privilege of being here with you all today as we launch this coalition. And with that, I would like to pass it on to my fellow veteran and sister in arms, Signa Oliver. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Signa Oliver, an original rebel, South Mountain High School graduate. Welcome to Post 41.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. They started it. Seriously, they started it. Good afternoon. My name is Signa Oliver. I'm a proud veteran of the United States Army. I served both as an enlisted soldier and as a United States Army Judge Advocate General officer. I'm a native of Phoenix, a rebel from South Mountain, a former Phoenix police officer, and I currently serve on the Phoenix Union Governing Board. I have to put the disclaimer in. I'm here in my personal capacity, for those of you that are putting that on in the back. Living a life of public service, it's been my greatest honor. When I served in the Army JAG Corps, I was one of the JAG officers that was given the opportunity to teach the law of war and the rules of engagement to all people leaving the continental United States, going outside to serve our country internationally. I worked to ensure our nation was staying true to its principles of defending freedom and justice, because we all know that the United States military has to have the duty to demonstrate freedom and justice, or no one else will. Only one person only in this race understands that. His name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben is one of us. He's worn the uniform, he fought for his guys, and then he came back, and now he's fighting for all of us. He still fights for us. every single day. He's probably heard this story more than he wants to hear this story, but here it goes again. Buckle up, Buttercup. So, on January 6, 2021, I was shaken just like the rest of you watching what was going on at our United States Capitol. The horror of the insurrectionists besieging our Capitol. Our representative, Ruben Gallego, was pulling Americans to safety. That's who he is. And that's who I want in the United States Senate. That's who we want to fight for all Arizonans. His opponent couldn't be any more different. She doesn't have a care about the sanctity of our democracy and our Constitution. She only looks out for herself in her pursuit of power. She has called herself Trump in heels. Let that sit for a minute. She has shown us who she is. She's a clown. She's a performer. She's a grifter. And we need to believe it. Arizona has a history, a rich history, of sending great leaders to the United States Senate to represent Arizona. We sent Senator John McCain, a Navy war hero. We sent Senator Mark Kelly, the shuttle commander. And we're going to send Senator Ruben Gallego, a United States Marine, I'm sorry. You eat crayons, I'm sorry. Marine hero. I did that on purpose. I was giving you a promotion. I know, my nephew loves that. Okay, so he served his country, he came home, and of course, he's still serving. A lifetime of service, a good man. That's exactly what we need in our next U.S. Senator from Arizona. So please, I beseech you, don't make me use biblical terms, I beseech you to join me in supporting Ruben to be Arizona's next United States Senator. Now I'll pass things off to John Bayonne. Thank you.
Give it up for Sidney. And it's been our tradition for the military roll call. How many of us in here represent the U.S. Air Force? Any Navy folks in here? Any Marines? Any Coast Guard? Last but not least, any Army? We welcome you vets to come up and stand behind the podium and the flags here. Any vet that wants to come up, welcome you to come up at this point. Anyone want to join us up here? Bring your sign. Come on up. Any and all veterans. Please welcome to the podium Bailan with his comments, and when he finishes, he will be introducing our future senator.
Thank you so much. I didn't know as I talked to an empty crowd here. My name is John Bailone. My brother Cheston is standing right back there. We're 13 months apart in age, and together we served with a much younger Ruben Gallego. But before I pass the mic off to our brother Ruben, I want to share a few words about our relationship and our friendship. If you abstract away our names, our rank, our military service branch, what you see is this social structure of three people that have a really strong bond that was forged over time through our service. And that is something very familiar to veterans in all service branches and across many generations. And if you think about your time as a veteran, when you started traversing the weeks towards graduation in boot camp or basic training, all the military schools you finished, the units you checked into, the times you deployed, you overcame challenges that were both physical, mental, and common amongst that whole journey is these bonds and these relationships. And I know for a fact you can see right now those faces of those guys you serve with or girls you serve with across your entire military journey, and how special that is to you. And sitting here with us or staying here with us is Ruben, a guy that really understands how sacred those bonds are, how they're forged. He's a candidate for Senate. He's had a history in Congress defending and protecting veterans, fighting for rights that they earned. And I have a really strong feeling he would do the same in the Senate. Before I turn it over, I want to say thank you to him. And thank you to everyone here, standing here with us. I appreciate your service to protect me, and I appreciate your service to protect my family. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is a homecoming, and I say that because I've been a proud member of Post 41 for 19 years, and it's good to see the commander and past commanders. And there's nothing more humbling than being a member here, because they don't care if you're a member of Congress. When I'm here, I'm still a junior member. During our parades, sometimes the Veterans Parade, I'm the one who runs along ahead of the float, making sure that I'm handing the assignments out, the announcements they can announce our float. And when it's volunteer time, I'm here to throw out the garbage too. And I'm smiling because this place was really a healing place for me. When I got back from the war, and my brother Bailon and my other brother Cheston could tell you, we had a very rough time when we got back. War was hard for us. We lost a lot of our friends. I lost my best friend, Grant. That's right. My son Michael's named after him. I lost a lot of my youth and left it in Iraq. And coming here and coming to this post was a real first step in coming back to this country and coming back and trying to make myself whole again while still living with PTSD, something that I still do live with and will work with to fix for the rest of my life, for not just me, but for every veteran out there. And it was the veterans here, that were always accepting of me. Some past commanders that aren't with us anymore, if you see them, if you see it up there, you see those pictures with those black bands, or past commanders that passed before us. Many of them that took care of me when I first got here. You met Manny Lugo, you met Dr. Levas, you've seen and heard a lot of them. The women of the auxiliary that actually do all the work, don't believe these guys. They're the ones that, if you want to have some good manure, that's where they have it. Yeah. And they've always kept me honest. They've always told me what is going on in our communities. They've always asked me to look out for veterans, and they've always held me accountable. Because that's what we actually do as Marines, as veterans, is that we actually look out for each other. And what has happened in politics is that we have let down our veterans. And time again, we keep hearing we got to take care of veterans, and it's all just lip service, right? We have veterans that were dying from Agent Orange for decades, until finally enough veterans had had enough and went to Congress and said, you need to take care of us. You have veterans from the OIF, such as my brothers from Iraq and Afghanistan, where we slept next to these burn pits. Not because we wanted to, because our government said you had to do it. And they didn't care what they put us in. They didn't care the danger they put us in. And when we got back and we started dying from rare diseases as young men and young women, and brothers that I lost because of these diseases that went broke. And we asked the government for help for almost 14 years. They did nothing. It wasn't until last year we finally got the PACT Act. And we're still going to lose thousands and hundreds of thousands of men and women over the next 20 years, 30 years because of that. That at a minimum, their family is not going to be going broke. So we talk, and they've talked the big game, and this is why we need veterans in service that actually have lived it. You know, I'm a very lucky man that I didn't end up in a harder spot that I did. It's because I have a family, and God, and these guys behind me. But there are too many veterans that are always left behind. There are too many veterans that we talk about and we cherish, but then we pass by them if they're asking for help. So I tell you, my brothers and sisters of Post 41, my brothers in Lima Company, and any other veteran out there, I haven't forgotten. I'm still a Marine. I love this country. I will fight for this country. And I'll fight to make sure every veteran has a chance, again, to live the American dream. I give you that. I swore once to protect the Constitution of the United States. I swore once to do it at a young man at the age of 20. I was willing to put my life and sacrifice my life for it. And I will do the same in the U.S. Senate for you and for this country. Thank you for your trust in me. We will win, and we will go and fight for our veterans again. Thank you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is American Legion Post 41 Marine, Ruben Gallego, as we know him. Ruben Gallego was the first congressman. We did our due diligence, we know it's true. First congressman ever sworn into office at an American Legion Post, and it was right here. He was sworn in. One more quick story. Also remember the first day after the swearing in, I have an 8 a.m. meeting with this Post 41 member, Ruben Gallego. And I tell my co-worker going with me, hey, we're going to be meeting with the new Congressman Gallego at 8 o'clock. We need to be there at 7:30. He said, why 7:30 to say? I said, because I know him. We want to make sure he's there before us. He beat us there. He welcomed us there. So please hear me say, elected as first Hispanic senator in the history of the state, knowing full well that he also has the potential to be sworn in as a senator in this post. So, thank you everyone for coming out. The food is available. There's plenty of water in the back. You can meet and greet, and then you can take photos in front of the beautiful mural that's back there by two veterans, Vietnam veteran, both of them, Andres Giron, along with help me somebody, Andres Giron and Roman Reyes are the two artists that were commissioned to do that mural. It depicts every conflict since World War II if you look at it real close. So thank you for coming out. Let's meet and greet. Let's have some lunch. And thanks again. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.